I'm back. I know, you missed me.
Yeah.
Haven't you?
And he's got sugar and caffeine.
I need sugar and caffeine. It's been a long week. Making the world safe to breathe air. But it was a great experience.
Climbing smokestacks.
We still do a lot of business in this country, and we make a lot of big stuff.
You know,
RBT, really big things.
that's because they're too big to ship. The small stuff, unfortunately, we don't make that here anymore.
Well, I'll tell you what.
I was at an auction yesterday up in Tipp City for the Dolly Toy company. They'd been there for a long time. They closed about a year and a half ago. There were 125 people working there, and literally this business wasn't in an office park or an industrial park. It was right in the middle of a neighborhood up there on North 4th Street. I mean, you could walk to work. Their parking lots weren't that big. They had real machines. They had sewing machines. They had, things that made things with people working there, doing things, putting them together. And it's all
People are
done.
going to schools and American schools and are doing things.
Right.
I watched C-SPAN today, and that was somebody went on there and only watched it 2 minutes, and they were talking about what else? NAFTA, North American Free Trade Act, and what he basically said was, we have a corporate America, owned by corporate. I mean, we're owned by corporations, and
Heartless corporations.
and the public, even though it thinks that it's very intelligent, has been sold by marketers.
Evil marketers.
Yes, well, I mean, we hear about the fair tax people and how good they are and whatever. But if you look at that, if you shed off the fair tax people are no different than radical right-wing kind of people that would think everybody would say, oh, these people want to leave everybody alone and not regulate you. They would regulate your womb. Most of these people would regulate your womb. They would regulate drugs. They would regulate everything. So
They talk about freedom, and then you can't have civilized society with unlimited freedoms. It just doesn't work that way.
Well, yes, the libertarians, they never know where to draw the line. Okay, let's have no laws. What isn't that what? No, they just say no laws, but then you can't figure out where to draw the laws.
Stick to the Constitution with the libertarians. But anyways,
well,
so at this auction, I mean, this is where people used to work. They used to make things, and it was really sad because you're watching a whole bunch of assets without people. You've got all these capital assets with nobody doing anything, and all of a sudden, the capital assets that were once really worthwhile and able to produce things and make things had no value at all. Like, I saw an IBM AS400 server, big iron.
Well, it's called progress.
$250 out the door.
It's called progress. Just like when we sprawl out everywhere and crawl over farmland, it's progress.
Well, all these assets just went poof. The saddest thing was I saw they had this big printer in a big box, printed dot matrix on green bar. And the last printout on it was their accounts receivable, including companies like Walmart, Target, Bed Bath & Beyond. I mean, it was like all these major retailers, Obots, and the total receivables. This was the last thing printed on this thing. The AR was over $2 million.
Let's get to the problem. The problem is our corporate America has sold everything to China, and they have purchased our congressmen. But most people in this town, or they purchased all of the business people.
Right.
They all lockstep in the same mentality. But everybody looks around and goes, not our congressman.
Yeah.
He's a good guy.
Our congressman.
He's a sell-out.
Well,
total.
It's not just a matter of selling out. We got to look at
total sell.
We got to look at the whole system at this point.
No, it's our problem.
Yeah,
we don't think our guy's the problem. He is certainly the problem.
Every one of them's a
Blow
problem.
him out.
And guess what?
Tony Hall was no better.
Yeah, but guess what? There's not going to be anybody opposing Mike Turner. So,
he's the best we can do.
Yeah, and they all think he walks on water.
There's
not even a discussion at heart. One thing does make me a little happier. Just this week, they finally won the lawsuit against the state of Ohio that would say that if you ran as, say, a Green Party candidate, you had a different standard than the Democrats or the Republicans. instead of just needing 50 signatures to get on the ballot, you'd need 1,700 or 1,800. Not only that, but your name of your party would not appear next to your name unless you won 15% of the last governor's election. That just isn't going to happen. So we weren't even censoring off the ballot any real third-party opposition.
It doesn't matter. It's for sale. It's done, sold. If you don't think it's a problem that these other guys are the problem, it's not true.
It's our problem.
It's our problem.
And we got to do something to change it. It's got to stop. We've got to stop voting in these people.
No, as George Carlin says, government sucks because people suck. Face it, you suck. Face it, we suck.
Yeah, we definitely suck.
We'll never win a popularity contest.
Or
a prophet is reviled in his own hometown. Welcome to be a prophet.
We also won't win any good looks contests either, especially with that hat.
Woohoo! Kettle Falls, baby.
Anyways.
Look up Kettle Falls. Have a good one.
Say goodbye, Greg.
Bye.